lights are out, you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels slow motion, just hold me. Remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels slow motion, just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me. stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Last week, the iSNF Cup Series took to the high banks of Talladega for that 2.5 mile long racetrack. This week, we're at a much shorter racetrack. Welcome to Dover, where the high banks help these drivers turn through the corners, but the outside walls out of turns 2 and 4 will come out to get you in a heartbeat. It's a good reason why they call this racetrack the Monster Mile. My name's Jonathan Leach. I'll be your host today. Joined with me is going to be Shane Lake. He's new to the iSNF Cup Series, not new being in the booth or being behind a mic. Shane, I know we've been talking for this one, and I'm awfully excited for Dover. What are your thoughts going into this race for the next couple hours for these drivers while qualifying is underway?
The biggest thing the driver's going to have to deal with is this place drives like a roller coaster. You're jumping down into turn 1, shooting up off of turn 2, then you're jumping down again into turn 3 and jumping off of turn 4. The car is going to be wicked tight on entry, but wicked loose on exit. So if you're side by side with somebody coming off these corners, you're going to have to really tread lightly, or else you're going to take both you in the wall. And Miles the Monster is looking a little hungry today.
And Miles, indeed, we just watched Tim Henderson run around the track, and you can see the entire way for his qualifying effort. He is fighting a bit of a loose race car. The rear tires, the rear end of the car is a little bit upset. You see there's quite a bit of a wiggle right there through 3 and 4 coming out of the corner. The good news for these drivers is at this event, the track temperature is low. The outside air temperature is 67 degrees. It's cloudy out, and the track temp is 78 degrees. If this was a hot racetrack, they would really have their hands full for this one. Let's take a minute to talk about the points leading into this week, and points on screen now. Angel Hernandez still leads the field you're looking at this, by a whopping amount of points. He has 713 points, and his next closest competitor, 477 points, Shane. That's ridiculous. It just kind of shows that Hernandez has been the driver all year long.
You're looking at a gap that's a minimum of 2 races to try to overcome already this point in the season. That's unheard of. I mean, we haven't had that in actual NASCAR since the days of Dale Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon going at it in the 90s. This is crazy to see this much of a point spread already this season.
And and if we can put him on screen, he just ran his laps a couple moments ago. He's 4th fastest coming into this race right here. You look at his driver rating, he's a 103. He's got 70 starts here with an iSNF, 7 wins, 41 top 10s. It's the top 10s, the 7 wins, That's what really gets it done here for Angel Hernandez. But he's there week in and week out. Last week, he was one of the last cars competing at Talladega. I expect to see him in the top 5 for the most part of this entire race here at Dover.
The biggest thing about winning a championship is one word: consistency. That 45 car has already found it, and he's off to a huge lead already in the points. I've got a feeling that he will be there by the time the championship rolls around and could more than likely walk away with it at the final race this season.
Right now, there are drivers here that have something to say about that, though. Matty Fornes is going to be on the pole today, unless somebody can stop him in the next couple moments, being either Charles Robertson, Joey Maines, or Isaac Wilson. Fornes has the fastest time at a 22.34, 400ths faster than Tristan Bailey for the top spot today here at Dover.
And with Fornes, Bailey, and Grosco, the top 3, Hernandez is right there with them. I'm only seeing a 400th differential inside this top group. I've got a feeling we're going to have a very close race by the time we get down to it towards the end with these 4 cars.
That's based on today's practice times. The practice for these drivers was very, very similar for everybody. Trying to put some practice times up. It's not really giving me the times that they had, but the drivers were all close. They were within about a half second of consistent lap times. I think we're going to see a very close racing field for this event today, and a lot of drivers are going to have trouble getting away from each other. Drivers getting ready to grid as you see them on pit road. We're getting ready to go racing here at Dover for the iSNF Cup Series. Things to know: there's 200 laps, 200 miles. Stage breaks are lap 60 and 120. Every driver has a single fast repair. Fuel set to 60%. And Shane, we were talking about it earlier. These guys have 3 sets of tires. On the restarts, the leader can choose inside or outside. All cautions are thrown by race control. Up to 3 green, white checkers. And don't forget, there are no changing lanes on restarts.
The biggest thing I'm also looking at for this race, the one word is inconsistency, because there's been 6 races here at Dover for these guys, 6 different winners. So could that trend continue, and could we see a 7th winner out of this field today?
Well, if there's a trend, they tend to hold true, and I can't expect anything else with the field of drivers here. 35 drivers have fielded for today. That being said, it might take us a minute to go through the grid here. So the grid on screen, once again, Matty Fornes, Tristan Bailey will be on your front row, with Joshua Grosso and Angel Hernandez making up row 2. Row 3 is Tim Henderson, Charles Robertson. Starting 7th is Justin Barkley. Courtney Nelson's got 8th. 9th is going to be Richard Malagani. Isaac Wilson for 10th. 11th, Jack Jagerman, and Joey Maines is going to be in 12th. Rhea, the lady who makes everything run for the iSNF Cup Series, is going to be starting 13th. This is one of the better starting positions that she's had in the last couple weeks, so we'll be rooting for Rhea to see what she can do here on the high banks of Dover. Chris Smith starts 14th. Robert Lynch is 15th.
Mark Morton, Christian Delgado, 16th and 17th. 18th, Jason Ricketts. 19th, Mike Isaacander, I believe it is. And starting 20th, Franz Brett Schneider, I believe.
Brett Schneider, I think is how we say it.
Brett Schneider, yeah.
It's a tough one.
It is. Michael Hagstrom and Rosa Lazaro, I believe. 21st and 22nd. Michael Gervey and Jimmy Johnson. Wait a minute. Jimmy Johnson's in this race? The 7 car, that is a substitution driver. We actually have 4 of those in the field today. Larry Fairman and John Hopley make up the 13th row. 14th row, Adrian San Jose Arenas and Jackson Carr. 15th row, Shane Posey and Steven Sear.
Chris Van Mastert, Matt Metler is going to be 31st and 32nd. Shane Griffin's 33rd. 34th, Matthew Gary. Bob Wyckoff, 34th. It looks like we had a late joiner, but that might be race control. for Tim Henderson. Looks like a couple of these drivers did not post a time. Everybody 28th on back. They chose to start at the rear of the field for this one, which, you know, that may not be a terrible idea, but I have a feeling that passing is going to become very tough here at Dover as these tires wear out.
Oh, once you get some heat in these tires, it's going to be very hard because everyone's going to want to clamor for the middle and top groove. The bottom, when it's fresh, you're going to want to be able to hook it. But good luck trying that on tires that are 50, 60 laps old, as the field looks like they're getting ready to come to green. With that being said, Miles the Monster looks like he's hungry, and I got Barney holding the green flag in his hand. We've got Torres and Bailey on the front row, Grosso and Hernandez behind them. 200 miles, 200 laps. Let's see who's going to survive the tank that is. We are green from Dover.
And we are back to yellow from Dover right away. Holy cow, parking lot on the front stretch. It's almost as if the entire field spun their tires. The pace car hasn't even parked yet. And what a way to start Dover.
Holy absolute craziness, Batman. Who would have thought this is how Miles would get his feast this early? I mean, it is about 5:45 Eastern. I guess it is dinner time for him.
Wow. Everybody's is involved in this one, Shane. We're going to try to watch this restart again. And, you know, just a mess. I don't know. I mean, it all starts with, I guess, Tristan Bailey in this number 2 car. No, you know, it looks like he just shifts bad.
I think it was that 2-3 shift and the tires spun on him, and then the whole field gets collected. I haven't seen anything like this on a restart since Jimmy Johnson ended up getting parked in 2016 with half the field behind him. You can hear it right there was the shift.
All right, now that's a bunch of torn up race cars right away to start this one. So we're just going to retry the restart. Drivers can come down pit road. If you qualified well, I guess it doesn't matter anymore. If you qualified bad, it doesn't matter. Now Shane Posey is up 28 positions. That can't be right. That'll probably cycle through. The new front row is going to be Joshua Grosso and Angel Hernandez, I do believe, as the number 2. And many others are on pit road trying to repair damage, to not use that fast repair right at the beginning of this one.
Yeah, but they also got to keep an eye on the pace car because it takes about a minute to a minute and a half to get around here under caution. And if you have extensive damage, it's going to hurt big time to get it fixed now.
And for those of you that are watching that may not drive, what these drivers are doing when they're in their pit stall and they're getting repairs, they're watching their relative, and they can see the relative of the pace car as it's coming around. And once it's within about 4 seconds of you, maybe 3.5 if you really want to push it, that's when you need to leave your pit stall in order to beat the pace car out. Because if the pace car goes around you, you're trapped a lap down, and you're going to be waiting till the next stage or the next caution, hopefully, to get your lap back. And in this case, I'm already seeing numerous cars a lap down for the start of this one, so going a lap down at this point might set you back the whole race.
Speaking of cautions, that leads to another trend that I picked up on through all the notes. Average yellows, including stage breaks here, 10. And we just had our first one right off the track.
You know, Rhea runs a very tight league, and I just absolutely applaud her for always, I just said absolutely. I applaud her for having this information for us. Shane, you'll find out real quick that I hate that word. And just typically when you say it, it's because there's absence of a better word. But I applaud her for always having the information readily available for us that really helps us put together a really good show. A lot of times we're thrust into a situation, we've got the 35 cars on track. We know we're at a racetrack. We know someone's got to win and what the speeds and times are, and we got to wing it. We don't have a ton of historical data and information, but Rhea does an excellent job, driver that number 12 machine right now, making sure that we always have the information that we need for these events. So I really appreciate her for doing that, and it makes her racing go very, very well.
Yeah, and having all that information helps us not to, look like we're clamoring around trying to find a statistician to get our information. So it's always helpful to have that up here as well to help you guys who are watching get a little extra insight into the race, because we know there's a bunch of you that are fans out there of certain people. This gives you the information, a little bit of a behind the scenes a little bit on how things are going around here.
So move Angel Hernandez up to the pole now. Why am I not surprised? Looks like we're gonna have looks like we're gonna have a handful of wave around cars. Hernandez is gonna be on the high side. Looks like he's opting for the high side. Joshua Grosso will be starting on the low side. And actually, I think we're flipped here. Timing and scoring had him backwards. Grosso is gonna be the restart car, and Hernandez is gonna be starting second.
Yeah, which is two teammates. So you got to wonder if maybe this early, if somebody gets a jump, maybe let the other one slide in behind them and say, hey, look, let's just log laps and get away from people.
I imagine at this point these guys want to just get off to a good start, let the nerves settle in, have the track, kind of feel out the track and see how it's going to be. Holy cow.
Yeah, that looked like it was a wave around car that was a little late to the party.
Well, you know, I'm not seeing any penalties. That's for Brett Schneider, the number 8 FICO. That's Franz Brett Schneider. And he might have been able to beat that pace car out. He's out of Montreal, Quebec, 27 Cup starts, 3 top 10s. Just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it looks like he's joining up the back of the field, so that's why they extended this caution one more lap to let everyone who needed it catch back up.
Want to take a moment to mention a handful of drivers up a lot of spots because of what happened. Matt Mettler up 12, Shane Griffin up 16, John Hopley up 13, handful of others up a couple spots. That's it's certainly subject to change. The biggest loser, though, was the number 2, who's now 30th after starting on the pole.
Yeah, and you got to wonder how hurt that car actually is, because it looks like he got pinballed around a little bit, as it looks like we're getting ready to come back to green this time by. Well, maybe not. Looks like they called it off once again.
Oh, there's the pace car down pit road. Unless they called... Oh, I see what you're saying. They called it off, and... So called it off as the pace car's down pit road. Yeah, we got another wave around car trying to make their way around. Perhaps they're helping everybody out because of the mishap.
Yeah, I think since it was at the start of the race, why lose a lap like this at the start? Get the car fixed up as best you can, go green, and see where you stand after you kind of get back caught up with the field.
We're going to follow Joshua Grosso for this restart, so you can watch his shifting and his speed on the bottom right of your screen as we're getting started here. And you can watch the gears change as we are coming up to speed for this race, or on this restart. I'm hoping we'll be restarting this time.
It looks like we'll be restarting this time because Barney's got the green flag in hand. I don't hear anybody getting it waved off. Let's keep an eye on this 23 of Grosso, because we're back green at Dover.
Big checkup for row 2 right behind him. You can see Grosso through the gears, shifting into 5th into turn number 1. Angel Hernandez right with him on the high side. Hernandez just going to fall right in suit, just like you were mentioning. Same for Barkley. He's going to try to slide right in front of Charles Robertson, make the top 5 single file. The 41 of Richie Malagani going to slide in as well. Next closest battle here with 2 side by side is Hopley and Joey Maines, and looks like they're sorted out. hopefully kind of backing the corner up a little bit. Stalled out the 3 for a brief moment, but looks like the 21 is going to let the 3 in.
Yeah, and I'm going to be interested to see as these tires wear how many people are actually going to start downshifting into the corners, because with these 5-speed transmissions, you actually can use fourth gear to help rotate the car a little bit more if you're fighting a tight condition. So could we see guys downshifting as these tires get older?
I think that's something that you put in your back pocket at some point of the race. I think that might be, very, very worn out tires. But I'm not on the racing surface, so I don't know how it's driving. This track is liable to get tight with the lower track temperature being around 78 degrees, 76 degrees. So we very well could see those fourth gear shifts in the middle of turns, or in the middle of the corners, I would say. Once you go into turn 1, shift down to fourth, and once you go into turn 3, you'd shift down to fourth to try to drive out. But you got to be careful with that, though, is the inevitable spin off of 4 or 2, where you can either spin or the wall comes out to get you.
Yeah, because again, the problem with this track is the way you're jumping out of these corners, the car will get very, very light on you. I experienced that firsthand a couple of times this week driving these cars. It can get really light really quick, so you want to be able to be on your toes to catch this car, just in case it does get a little bit sideways on you.
And we just saw, as we're talking about that, you got the number 2 and the 19. These guys were on the front row, side by side. They were battling back here for 25th. They were both in the wall out of turn 2 a moment ago. 2 of the best still ending up in the wall as Tristan Bailey is getting past Steven Sear right here. He's going to try to get by Matt Metler as well. And this big gaggle of machines in front of Tristan Bailey, he's knocking a bunch of cars off in a hurry.
Yeah, I think, as he goes 3 wide, he's trying to force the issue, trying to get past these guys. We know he's got a fast car, but he's also got to have a little bit of patience here. You don't want to tear your stuff up too early or use your tires up, because with only 3 sets of tires on pit road, you're going to need a little bit of strategy to help kind of parlay a good finish today.
Yeah, that's a good point. You don't want to waste your tires with the very few that you have for this race. And I would imagine a lot of these guys 20th on back are saving their equipment. Probably go the entire first stage without using a set and try to have one at the end. Because, if you got 20 laps left and you got a set of tires and you have an opportunity to restart, say, 15th on 20 lap pressure tires at Dover, you're going to be in a really good situation. Following along with Rhea Ferris now, Shane Griffin closing in on her.
Yeah, Rhea Ferris is down a couple of positions early, but that's just the nature of how Dover is. You slide back a couple of positions, and as everyone's starting to lose their tires from underneath them, if you saved anything, you'll be able to get back up towards the front. So I wouldn't sweat too much if I was the 12 car right now.
And Rhea Ferris by trade drives trucks, big equipment, so she's got a very smooth steering habit. So her idea is always just to save the tires, be there at the end, as a lot of cars are going by her. As long as it stays green, she should be able to get by a handful of these guys again toward the end of this run. But what I wonder is 40 laps enough for the tires to wear out, for her tires to come in, which she is saving right now. So let's go on board with her and see how she's driving the corner. See the very little wheel input in the corners right here.
Yeah, it looks like she's really taking care of the equipment right now. It looks like she's running more middle groove, trying to diamond the corner. So that's a good way to save the tires, plus also keep speed up coming off the corners.
We're going to check back here at 47 of Bob Wyckoff, see how he's driving it. Pretty minimal input right here as well for him. And I'm looking for somebody that's putting a lot of wheel in it. And I don't see one yet. Someone's dropping. There it is, the 71.
And it sounds like we've got a little bit more of a stack up in the middle of 3 and 4 as well.
Now we're seeing people on the YouTube chat prior to the start here. I think the driver of the 71 left us a message saying that he was driving in the 71. Unfortunate for him. We're going to bunch the field back up. I don't expect anybody to come down pit road unless you're looking to clean up your car from some possible damage. Metler real beat up, avoids pit road.
I think he was one of the other two cars that I heard smack the fence in 3 and 4 as we caught the TV camera view of the 71 going around.
I'm also seeing Laszlo. Okay, handful of machines.
Now, what brought this on?
It's like trouble in front of some guys. Yeah. Mettler
19
on
was in it.
Oh,
19
really?
was in that as well. Looks like he got a little bit of damage to the rear end of his car in the stack up.
So Matthew Gary might have started this whole thing. Yeah, that 71. Him and the 19. So the 19 gets into the wall. I don't think the 71 really drove him up there. The 71 spinning. Other guys really didn't have anywhere to go. We're trying to watch this from Matt Mettler's onboard.
The 20 the 20 rear-ended the 19. That's where the rear end damage came from for him. And he just tried to shoot a gap that wasn't there and just clobbered the 6.
Yeah, I feel like that one was kind of avoidable. Let's watch it from the viewpoint of the 6. He's going to have a better view of what happens in front of him. More Carson, yeah, he just gets...
Yeah, we're on board the 71. We're on board the 71.
Oh, excuse me, my mistake.
But no, you could just see right there, this is the nature of Dover. You're battling with somebody, the car will either tighten up or you just wash straight up in.
This time riding with the 6.
He sees the wreck in front of him, and
yeah, just
he got ran over. Quite simply, the 6 got ran over. That could have been beyond avoidable.
Yeah, I don't reckon the 6 is too happy with that one, or the other driver that got caught up in it. Who was that?
20.
The 20. Okay. Yeah, both of them. I think. I don't know. I think that was avoidable. Now he could have been, if you're Matt Mettler, you could have been looking somewhere else, and not looking to that, or looking through the car in front of you. That can happen at times, but I think that one was pretty avoidable. Rhea Ferris has moved back up to 13th after that.
Yeah, again, this is just the ebb and flow of Dover, and in regards to that crash, personally, when it comes to where I'm looking for, if I'm seeing a crash, especially in a corner, I'm looking more towards the exit of the corner, so that way if anybody tries to drop down as they're sliding off the banking, especially here with 24-degree banks, I can try to find the groove towards the top side and hopefully, looking in the mirror, make sure I don't get rear-ended. But unfortunately, you know, sometimes things happen.
And so we're going to rack them up, get ready to go again. Pace lights are out. Grosso, Hernandez, Nelson, Barkley, Isaac Wilson will be your top 5. And if you do care, 6th is Richie Malagani. So top 10 drivers cracked the top 10 now. Chris Smith, and the number 21, that Dex Ford Mustang. Just below him is Jason Ricketts in the 48.
Yeah, you got Robert Lynch Jr. in the 91 and Joey Maines in the 9, making up everything else alongside with Isaac Wilson in the 24.
Courtney Nelson, Justin Barkley.
And then, of course, the top 2 Toyotas right now, Joshua Grosso and Angel Hernandez. And Angel's got to be thinking right now, thank God all of this is going on behind me.
You know, this might be how he finishes so well. He always stays just ahead of the problems.
Well, I mean, it's a good strategy. You qualify up front, you stay up front. Again, consistency is key. As the pace car made that left-hand turn, Barney's got the green flag in hand and waving it again over everybody, and that 23 took off like a rocket ship.
It almost looks like he kind of gave it back a little bit in the corner.
I'll probably back the corner up a little bit just to make sure that he didn't overshoot it.
It really, in my opinion, kind of opens the door right here for Hernandez. as Hernandez is looking to the 23, but the 23 is going to keep that door pretty closed. Nelson right there behind him in the Poppy Banks, I'm about to call it Silverado, but that's a Camaro. And you got two Ford Mustangs still for the top 5. Malagani got around Isaac Wilson for 5th.
Yeah, and those two Toyotas are going to start checking out on everybody really soon. I mean, they were looking fast in the first run here. I've got a feeling that those two are going to take off before long and leave everybody else in the dust.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that. The entertainment's more back here in the field where you've got machines around machines. You got trouble right there, car. The blue car, I think that could be Michael Hagstrom. That is the 51. They're going to leave it green.
Yeah, they're hoping that he pulls down to get on pit road because that thing looks like it's hurt, and he is coming down pit road. And nice. There's your caution.
Something else caused the caution. Jackson Carr.
Looks like he got spun out in a checkup, or maybe just got loose, one of the two.
It seems like the 16 might have gotten loose. Christian Delgado.
Yeah, 16's without a front clip. He's definitely got some involvement in that.
Let's back it up here. Oops, that's not what I meant to do.
Now, the deal with the 51 has me confused as to what happened here.
Perhaps everybody was trying to avoid him.
Yeah, because it looks like he just got loose on his own and stuffed it in the fence nose first, and then this whole ordeal came around like a lap later.
Keep an eye on this. Also, you know, so cars kind of trying to avoid the 51. People are already getting sort of out of whack right there.
And then the craziness happens down in turn 1 half a lap later.
Yeah, it looks like the 3 nudges him. Initially gets the 16 loose. 16 has some trouble trying to gather it back up. Handful of other cars involved.
Yeah, it looks like the 17 also took a little bit of a shot there. Looks like both corners of the front end got bent up on that.
And here's Jack Yeagerman, 2.5 minutes down pit road. Jackson Carr exiting pit road right now. Christian Delgado at the tail end of the field. Looks like Hagstrom used his fast repair to get back out in this one.
Yeah, but using it this early unfortunately means you kind of have to baby the car the rest of the race until you know you can actually do something with it, because you're going to be driving a little bit more tentatively knowing you don't have the safety net of that fast repair underneath you.
Yeah, that's the downside. You might not be willing to make a move that you would have been willing to make when you had the fast repair. Also, another to mention, Matt Metler used his fast repair. Jimmy Johnson's no longer on the track. So we got a couple drivers out right now. I have a feeling that Yeagerman might be blown up and did not have a fast repair checked, and so there might be nothing that he can do. But we know one car is out of the field for sure. 33 cars are going to be restarting. A handful of them will be a lap down.
Yeah, which means the battle for getting the lucky dog, since we're only just past halfway in this first stage, is going to be intense with those cars, because I think a couple of them are relatively quick and could end up putting up a fight later on.
And you know, it's worth noting, if I can find him. For Jackson Glenn.
Four car.
why I'm struggling to find them so much. I'm just not seeing them in my timing and scoring here. Oh well, I don't want to get hung up on it, but we've got a driver making their debut here. Jackson Glenn Allen makes his first iSNF NextGen Cup Series start today. We're going to try to focus on him at some point, but I just seem to keep just skipping on by whenever I'm looking through the field to put him on screen right now. But we're getting ready to go back to racing. And we're coming down the backstretch. The pace lights are out. Front 2 hasn't changed. Neither has row 2 and really row 3 either from the last one.
No, but the one thing that should be changing is the fact of those last two, row 2 and row 3, didn't exactly get a good jump last time. Maybe they got something figured out for this one because they seem to be a lot closer to getting ready to come down to the green. As Barney waves it, let's see how the takeoff is for everybody. It's still a little spread out, but that front row took off relatively similar, but they got that 31 car to contend with in their rearview mirror.
And Courtney Nelson always just kind of sitting here waiting for an opportunity to pounce and take that position. Isaac Wilson and Malagani, or excuse me, Joey Maines that is, side by side, looking for a position right here. The 41 of Malagani. I thought he had an opportunity. They're going to go by, looks like the 24 machine. Isaac Wilson kind of getting a little out of whack right there. Running a very different lane than the drivers around him. That middle groove instead of trying to wrap that corner.
Yeah, looks like he's also trying to save a little bit of tire as well, because if you're running up in the middle, you're not really hurting your tires that much, and you're also keeping a lot more speed as well.
Curious to see how much wheel input he's putting into it. Not that much. Gotta be careful about that outside wall right there, but did a really good job with that lap. Just kind of biding his time here, running in the 5th position. A little further back, we got near 3-wide racing between Charles Robertson, Gary, and Shane Posey. Looks like they sort of got that figured out as Charles Robertson's going to be the victor. Looking to the inside of Matthew Gary right now. Will slide up takeaway 14th. Robertson now looking to the inside of Hopley in turn 1.
Yeah, and it looks like that's going to open up the door for a few other people going into this party. Whoa, we got a wreck. Big one.
Man, 71 just kind of reached up there and grabbed him.
Yeah, and it looks like he took the 43 with him.
To back this one up here for you to see it.
Yeah, it just looks like the 71 tried to fill the hole left open and just washed up into him, and takes the 43 for a ride as well.
And try to watch this from the 71 into the corner. Maybe we'll get an idea of how this occurred from his standpoint. He's dealing with a loose or tight condition. He's got a lot of wheel input right there.
Tight. That car was tight and it just washed up. As much wheel as he had put into that thing, that car was wicked tight.
Yeah, I think probably drove it in a little bit too hard. Just no way to really get away from it. Slam on the brakes. Everybody behind you is in trouble. That's going to be caution number 4 on lap 40.
Oh, the law of averages. It's starting to boil down to being truth again.
You know, so I'm kind of wondering, 10? Do you think 10 is the average, or it was just a number?
Well, you got to figure, counting the stage breaks, there's going to be 2 more cautions minimum, so that's going to put it at 6. If it's still going anything like this, I think 10 is going to be the under for today.
I think you might be right on that one. Now, drivers will start to settle down as the race kind of goes on. And, I mean, drivers don't like pacing any more than we like talking about them pacing. So, these guys are out here, they're rolling around. And try to take a moment and maybe see if we can bring in driver the 22, Justin Barkley. You look for him in here.
Should be in the Team Penske, I believe, since it is a 22 car.
Yep. Got him now. Justin Barkley, Jonathan, Shane, the booth. Do you got us?
I got you.
So far, been a lot of pacing, less racing. But from the racing that we've been doing, how are the track conditions? What can you tell us? What can you tell us about the race so far?
So we really haven't used a lot of tires yet. So the tires are still holding up. But I think if we get some green flag runs, you're gonna see some more cautions. But I mean, right now the track seems to have a little bit of grip, so it's doing pretty good right now.
Good to know. What are your keys to success here, or your thoughts going into the next couple stages with the limited tires?
I'm gonna check my tire wear on this run, and if I didn't wear them too much, I might push it a little bit more. But I'm going to. I mean, it all determines this pit stop what I'm gonna do, how hard I was pushing it.
All right. Well, the floor is yours. If there's anyone you want to mention before we send you back to your team.
Just shout out to Team Penske Racing for having me, and you guys for broadcasting.
All right. Well, good luck. Looks like it's time to get going again.
All right. Thank you.
So Shane, that's sort of what I was expecting to hear, that the tires weren't wearing that much because of these cautions. I mean, we've probably got 23 laps under caution, give or take.
Yeah, which means you only got about 20 hard laps on these things, so you're probably still looking good. So we could see a lot of fuel-only pit stops here once we hit stage break on lap 60.
I feel like that's what you have to do here. And you just have to save your set of tires right now. But if the whole field does it, I mean, what's the point? So I wonder if anybody's going to try something different and try to spread it out. I'd like to see like someone in the 10th or 11th place, one of those drivers, spread their tires out through the whole race and see if that works out for them, instead of trying to save a set for the end to see how that's going to go. So the pace car is going to turn down pit road. I'll take this one. Grosso Hernandez, nothing is new there. Neither is Nelson and Barkley. Getting into the restart zone right here. Grosso's on the throttle. Big jump now for the 23. This time Hernandez wasn't quite ready. Going to be single file for the top 4 into turn number 1. The battles for 5th.
Yeah, and going back to the point of tires, as we got another caution. What is going on today?
It looks like there's just a lot of high nerves for this one. So trying to see what caused this. 14 involved, a 3 involved. Let's see, where's the 14 at?
43's got the whole front clip knocked off.
Yeah, we'll probably try to see what happened to him from his vantage point. It all happens in front of them. 16 again, the 12. Christian Delgado. The good news here is repeat offenders are about to start running out of time, or the ability to be a repeat offender.
Which will limit everything down because...
Oh, that's weird right there.
What caused... Okay, looks like what happened here, the 16 tried to shoot a 3-wide gap, and looks like he caught... who was that in front of him? The 47.
Yeah, we'll see it real tight right here. Yeah, so the 16 tried to go in the middle. The 47 probably didn't know he was there. And so all the 47 does is makes this corner from his lane. but at that point, the 16 was there, leading to the accordion effect and caution number, what, 5?
Yeah, it's number 5, and it just looks like the 16 trying to catch the car, hooked it dead right, and away we go.
And 17 involved in it.
Yeah, the 3 caught the 3 caught the 16 as he was trying to save it, and when the 16 decided to get traction, the wheel was cut dead right, and head on into the fence he went.
All right. Well, for caution number 5, Shane and I are going to step away for a few moments. We'll be right back. Should catch the restart, but if not, we will be side by side, and we'll be back shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have not missed a thing with the side-by-side coverage as Joshua Grosso gets the jump on the restart. Shane Lake and Jonathan Leachman here coming to you from the virtual Dover Speedway as we got a battle for second with Angel Hernandez and Courtney Nelson with only 11 laps to go in the stage this time by.
And Nelson, who's just been sort of abiding his time in the third place position, looking to advance now as Hernandez is under siege. Might have found him some competition for this one. Just behind them, Barkley and Isaac Wilson are throwing haymakers back and forth at each other as the stage is winding down. And that's Mike.
Here we go.
Another one right there. 13. Wow, that's a huge hit for Richie Malagoni. Just destroyed right there. I feel like that's not going to be the stage. I'd like them to hurry this one up and get us back to green.
No, I think with the fact that it's pretty much swept everything down to the bottom, that 41 car, if he doesn't have a fast repair, is more than likely done for the day.
Oh, for sure. You see right there. God, a 13 just... What happens here? Mark Morden.
I don't know. That looked awkward from the start. I There it was
Ooh.
as they came off as the 13 came off the corner, you could see the back end of that car kick around.
No, it just
Oh.
kind of bumps him right there.
Maybe trying to pull a side draft and just lost track of where things were going.
God, look at the hit that 41 car takes right here.
Yeah, it's a side draft that went wrong, and then pow.
Ooh, a couple cars narrowly missing him right there.
Well, looks like the 41 had a fast repair, so he's back in this thing, but he's going to be towards the back of this pack, and again, it's a factor of not having the fast repair in your back pocket later in this race.
Yeah, and that might settle some of this insanity down right here. I'm starting to go back to, the average cautions per cup race at Dover. I'm thinking somebody just stuck a 10 in there.
Yeah, I think someone decided to throw a dart, and it's going to end up hitting something a little bit higher at this rate.
We're certainly going to be higher. Usually we sometimes I put an over-under down on the chat and get the fans' opinions of this one, but I think we've all decided that this one's over is going to be greater than 10. Following along in 20th, John Hopley, 103 starts, 11 top 10s. He's out of Lancaster. I think that'll be South Lancaster, Ontario. 64 years old, driving that number 15 Mustang. Up 6 spots on the night, currently running 20th. If you're a guy that wants a good finish today, or gal, you just kind of need to take it easy. And it seems like those positions will just slowly start to come to you.
Yeah, because Miles is going to start getting full real soon the way this is going. And did I hear that right? A 64-year-old is in this field? Talk about representing the old guys here.
That's correct right there, John Hopley. 103 races with the iSNF series. That's a couple years of racing with these guys. Several years.
For sure. Oh, for sure. Mad respect to being able to hang on to it this long for as competitive as this field seems to be.
What I like, and here's another one, Shane Posey, 51 years old, Fitzgerald, Georgia, Legacy Motor Club. I wonder how far that is from Savannah, Georgia. I'll be there next weekend, personally.
Can we just talk about how cool that 43 scheme looks? I mean, that's a throwback to Richard's 200th win on an 84 Pontiac. Here we see it on a Toyota. That brings back so many memories to us older NASCAR fans.
Well, I tell you what, it doesn't really bring back a memory for this younger NASCAR fan.
I keep forgetting.
I
keep forgetting. I've been watching the sport a lot longer than most of you guys here. I keep forgetting that.
Well, I think it's just a couple of us. I mean, there's a couple of guys that are a little bit older that have been around, but I didn't get into NASCAR and motorsports as far as watching it until I would say maybe 2006 is when I really started watching motorsports when I was younger. I knew of it. My dad was an avid NASCAR fan for the longest time. He just kind of fell away from it though. But around 2006 is when I really started paying close attention to the sport.
Man, you missed a lot of the good Earnhardt and Rusty Wallace battles then, because they tore up the early 90s.
Oh, I've seen plenty of reruns, I should say. So Grosso, Hernandez, Nelson, Barkley. They're going to have 7 laps to the end of stage number 1. Who's it going to be? Grosso with an excellent restart again. Hernandez, is he going to open the door for Nelson into turn 1? If I'm Nelson, do I go try to get second, or am I content here with third? A little bit further back, drivers still racing like they all have a fast repair, the 91 and 54, and the 2 close quarters racing with 6 remaining in the stage.
It doesn't surprise me the action hasn't slowed down that much yet, but we don't know how many fast repairs are actually still spread out through the field, because some of these guys are still running around a little on the hurt side. Maybe they were trying to save the fast repair for the stage break.
Either that, or they ran out with as many cautions as we have had. So right there is that Shane Posey machine using the higher lane just above the 21. 9 with quite a wiggle there for Joey Maines to the inside of Rosa Laszlo, who's slowly but surely taking his 6 and bringing it back through the field. Remember, he was caught up in an earlier incident, and he's up to 17th. A little contact in front of us between Brett Schneider and Posey. They hang on to it. Thank you for that. And we're 3 laps away from the stage.
Yeah, it seems like we've got a little bit of a battle starting to brew up front in here. Looks like Hernandez is starting to slowly reel in that 23 car, but he's bringing Courtney Nelson and Justin Barkley with him.
Yeah, these two guys get side by side. Does that open the door for Nelson? One thing that's worth noting at Dover, when you are racing side by side, you slow down quite a bit to the guys trying to catch you. So I'm curious to see if that'll open the door. There might not be enough time for either of them to make a run at Grosso for the stage.
No, if I was these guys, I'd just be content riding it out as we got more contact here between the 43 and the 8. What is going on with those two guys today?
Yeah, that's the second or third time. That looked like some tempers that time around. They didn't end up wrecking each other, but I'm sure that they are frustrated with one another. Right behind them, Laszlo and Joey Maines are side by side. We'll keep an eye out on that one between the 8 and the 43.
Yeah, looks like we're getting ready to end this stage here with Joshua Grosso still leading the way.
I think it'll be thrown. There it is. Grosso, Hernandez, Nelson, your top 3 for stage number 1. Worth noting that Posey and Brett Schneider are going to finish right here. Is there going to be any bumping and frustration with each other? Right there. Look at that.
The 8 was pushing them all the way down the back straightaway. Now he's pulled up alongside of them. We may want to keep a camera trained on these two because I don't think they're done yet.
Oh, they're awfully frustrated with each other right there. I wonder what the in-driver audio sounds like for these two guys. Of course, you got Brett Schneider. He's out of Montreal, Quebec. Quite frustrated. And Posey out of Georgia.
Now, it looked like when we caught up with him last time, it looks like either the 43 ended up putting the 8 in the fence and the 8 wasn't happy about it, or it was just hard racing that led to that and the 8 just took exception. I'm not sure, but we definitely want to keep an eye on these two before this day is over because I got a feeling someone's going to get their back bumper worn off.
Yeah, and one of those two is going to be in a situation where the other is in the way, and they're going to remember what just went down. So
you mean to tell me drivers actually remember things?
Yeah. I remember things for months as a driver.
I thought we actually forgot things at times.
Well, oh, man. Worth noting right here, 4 drivers did not come down pit road. They are not on... they're not a lap down, so either they're going to pit this next time around because they want to be in the back, or Matt Mettler's taking a page out of something I told him one time. John Hopley, Rhea Ferris, and Wyckoff doing the same. Staying out on older equipment because they want to save their tires has moved these guys to the front of the field.
You got to figure with those caution laps that we ran, they may have an extra 10 laps of fuel saved up because it is usually a 2-to-1 ratio green to yellow, so they might try to go just that much longer and maybe save a set of tires or two for the end because they may end up splitting that final segment into thirds.
That, you know, with the cautions that we've been having, that's a very real possibility. But the thing is you can't ever bank on them. As the field cleans up and thins out, this has the real chance to go green the rest of the way, aside from the next competition caution or stage break, which I believe is on lap 120.
Yeah, lap 120 is the next stage, so they went 60, 60, 80. So if they're trying to save another set of tires for that final 80 laps, they're going to be looking to do it roughly 25, 26 laps a set on those tires. that could get interesting late in the race in case there's another caution.
Let's see here.
Wasn't it not too long ago we saw the front clip knocked off that 15 car?
I believe that is correct. So our average speed today with cautions so far is 78 miles per hour. Is the average speed of this race. It's taken us 48 minutes to do 63 laps. So I know these drivers would much love to increase that average as we're going forward. And yes, that car was awfully damaged earlier on in the run.
78 mile an hour average. You could hit that on I-95 getting down here.
Oh yeah. But the pace lights are out, so we're getting ready to start stage number 2. It's almost a new race.
We got Mettler and Hopley up front. I'm going to be interested to see how these guys take off on these older tires, because I got a feeling that we could see more wheel spin, which will bring that field right back up to them, if not cause another stack up.
And I think we will see a stack up in the very least right here. 31 drivers going to be starting stage 2 as we're coming to lap 65 for the First State 200 here at Dover for the iSNF Cup Series. Want to thank everybody for being a part of our Saturday evening here at Dover. Want to thank the drivers for their participation. Shane, thanks for being here for my partner for this one.
Glad to be here. I'm glad to be calling this race with you, John, as Mettler and Hopley bring them to the green. Barney waving it furiously. And there you have that stack up with the 15 spinning the tires on that top groove.
And it really lets Matt Mettler get out quite a bit in front of these guys. He's got half a second to John Hopley and a second back to the rest of the field. Look at Matt Mettler go, getting some air time as the wrecking right behind him.
And I think it's still going. It looked like it started with the 2 car back there, and then it just snowballed from every which direction.
I was thinking maybe the 8 and the 43 had something to do with it.
If that's the case, I swear to God.
Let's see. Wow,
Nope,
2 and the 47.
2 and the 47 went for the same piece of real estate, and it just didn't work out. And yeah, we got a bunch of tore up cars after that.
You know, the 47 has had quite a bit of luck in things like this happening.
You know, I think he hit the luck bank one too many times.
Well, the 47 lived to continue on right here.
Yeah, it looks like to me that the 2 ends up coming up off the bottom of the corner, trying to clear the 47, or maybe the 47 got a touch from that purple car behind him.
Yeah, I think the 47 had a little bit of a bump. The 71, I think just we saw him turn up in the corner. Matthew Gary, that 99 machine.
I think it was the 99 that got the 47 as the 2 was trying to clear him, and it just shoved him straight up into him.
I'll back it up right there to focus on it.
Yeah, watch the 99 as they exit the corner, see what happens with that. I mean, I'm pretty sure he got into him.
Yeah, it looks like he definitely gets a little bit of a bump right there.
Yeah, right there. That little contact coming off these corners will get anybody loose. I mean, I saw it way back in 2008 when Tony Stewart wrecked Elliott Sadler off of 2. It was the slightest of bumps, and next thing you know, you took out 15 cars. Well, this one you only took out about 6, but slightest of contacts gets the car that much further loose coming off these corners.
Got Dragon 24. He's at the real Dover. Says, if I was racing, I'd love to have a green flag run right about now.
I think we all would love to have a green flag run right about now.
Yeah, I would have to agree to that. Race time almost to 1 hour, and we're not quite halfway as of yet. Now, as the Rift Raff continues and the car count goes down, our average speed is going to increase, and we're going to start really clicking laps away here.
Yeah, but I think it's going to take to about the last segment of this race to do that, the final 80 laps.
I think we'll be there by lap 100, personally.
Well, let's hope you're right instead of me on this one, huh?
Yeah, we're on the 8th caution. So we got one stage for 9th, and then they get one more caution. Curious to see. Maybe they're going to make me eat my foot on this one. We'll only have 2 more cautions.
You know, the crazy thing is there's usually, on average, 16 lead changes, but we've seen the cars get really dominant here already, whether it was the 23 car or now currently Matt Mettler in the 34.
You know, this is a fun time right here for Matt Mettler, who was probably not expecting to have an opportunity to lead this race. And whether he's leading under green, leading under yellow, he's still leading in that 34 Ford Mustang. And he came down pit road on lap 21. I don't think he took tires. He was on pit road for 18 seconds. So perhaps, well, we remember him big contact earlier. So I know the fast repair was used for the 34. It's probably cleaning up a little bit of damage. And, you know, he's got a little bit of a cushion. Being Rhea Ferris right behind him. And, of course, Hopland to the outside before you get to the fresher tires of Wilson and Nelson. Now, it's worth mentioning where is... Here we go. Here is Grosso in 6th. And we lost track of Hernandez, who is in 22nd.
Yeah, that's a little interesting to see what's going on with this 45 car being as far back as he is, but maybe it's just the fact of taking the tires and he's got this much further to claw through.
Well, I'm showing that he had another pit stop of 2.6 seconds. I'm thinking either he was somehow forced to take a fast repair that we didn't see, or he might have had a pass-through penalty. As Matt Mettler is going to restart the race, it's going to change lanes before the start-finish line, which I don't believe he can do. And he's going to be into turn number 1 with a 0.4 of a second lead over Hopley. 3 wide right behind him. Those guys figured that was a bad idea. And Rhea Ferris up to the high side as well.
As Rita Ferris is taking the Richard Petty line, I'm thinking the 45 may have actually topped off on fuel just to try to get a little bit more into an edge.
You know, that could have been it too. Perhaps the 45 is gonna try to stay out and then run a little bit longer after the stage. I'm not sure. But Mettler doing a pretty good job. A couple laps led now under green. Grosso has made his way back to 2nd. Mettler, look out. Here comes the guy in that Air Force 23 Toyota. And he has been the leader for the better part of this event, and he is hunting you down.
Yeah, I wouldn't be looking at rearview mirror right now because those teeth are looking really sharp, and they're looking to take a bite out of the back end of that Mustang.
Yeah, Grosso on fresher tires. Biding his time, not trying to do anything drastic to get by Mettler. Mettler really doing a good job leading right here. And in his mind, he's saying, there you go, Jonathan. See what I can do, because I know him. And here's Grosso to the outside of Mettler. He's going to make the pass on the high side. Mettler going to try to battle back on the inside, but there it is. Move Grosso to the point. Mettler back to 2nd.
One thing I'm noticing now, this 23 car, is we got another caution.
I saw a lot of position changing occurring towards the back. Started looking for Rhea Ferris. She fell back to 7th.
I think the 99 got the front clip knocked off. I saw someone's nose sitting on the back straightaway, and I saw a purple car driving off to the side.
Oh, Rhea Ferris involved in that one.
She got the 31 car turned around. Oh, it's a typical Dover issue. You make the move on somebody, you end up getting yourself so far out of line because they checked up. You have a shallower entrance into the corner, means you wash up and pow.
Yeah, just nowhere to...
goes around.
really nowhere to go for Rhea, whether she's on the brakes or not. The checkup that the 31 had, and that's Nelson, someone who was in the top 3 for the longest time, had to check up for the car in the high lane, and then that just put them both in a bad situation. Looks like Nelson might come down pit road to repair some damage.
Yeah, I probably got some minor damage in that altercation. It's just the nature of how Dover is. You get somebody who gets checked up in front of you, next thing you know, you're 3 wide in a position you don't want to be in, which means your corner entry is shallower than everybody else's. You're going to wash up a lot quicker, and we just saw evidence of that right there.
We sure did. After Shane Posey comes out of his pit stop, we're going to try to bring him in and figure out what was going on with him in the 8 car and see if we can get some insight there. Let's try to bring him in. I may not be able to move him. Here we go. Shane, this is Jonathan and Shane in the booth. Do you got us?
Yeah, got you. Go ahead.
All right, good to hear from you. You've had a little bit of trouble with the 8 car today. Do you want to talk us through some of what was going on between you two towards the end of the last stage?
I got into him a little bit in the middle of a turn, and he didn't like being passed, I guess, so he fought me like it was a one to go.
Yeah, well, we caught all that on air. But anyway, you're looking at taking your Legacy Motor Club 43. We both enjoy that petty paint scheme that you're running. What do you think it's going to take to get you from where you are in 22nd to the top 10?
Just taking it easy, letting people make mistakes. I mean, I've been up there close a couple times, but got caught in another incident and had to go repair. So every time I get past 15th, something happens and puts me in the back again. But we're just going to try to ease our way through here and avoid the cars.
That's all you can do. Shane, you got anything for him?
Is there anybody you want to thank?
Good top 5, I think. But you never know what happens when it comes down to these last few laps. Leaders get together. You never know what happens.
Well, you're representing the old guy as well, my friend. Keep that thing clean, and we're lucky. Maybe we'll see you in victory lane today, huh?
I hope so. Appreciate it, guys.
Have fun out there.
I'm thinking he didn't realize that you're also...
You know what, man? It happens, believe me. When I was hosting races here on YouTube with another friend of mine, he was also Shane. So imagine how that went.
I imagine a bit complicated.
To say the least.
All right, so let's get our attention back to the race here. Those guys that stayed out have pitted. Mettler is going to restart way in the back now on 26. Grosso and Isaac Wilson. Tristan Bailey has found his way back to the front of that number 19 Bass Pro Tracker Toyota Camry. Race time currently at 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 30 seconds for 78 laps complete.
Didn't we see the 19 backwards twice already tonight?
A handful of times.
And here he is rocking himself all the way back up the 4th, getting ready to restart here. The ebbs and flows of this racetrack are something to behold, as we got Barney getting ready to wave that flag one more time. Grosso and Wilson up front, Bailey and Henderson behind them. How is this going to work out? Is Barney's getting ready to wave the green flag one more time. And we got Grosso with a huge jump on everybody else. Looks like he got him by a good 2-3 tenths.
And it seemed like Isaac Wilson was really laying back in that 24 machine. Tristan Bailey will take advantage. And I think Tristan Bailey just wasn't sure what he could do with how that restart went. So here we are on lap 79. Big gaggle of machines. Everybody in the back, including Angel Hernandez, jockeying for position. Right there you saw Brett Schneider and the 38 of Chris Van Mastrit trying to make position. I'm hearing the cautions right there in front of us. A load of machines.
I'm seeing the 22 in this. I'm seeing the 12 right there on camera getting a piece of this. I think the 20 got involved. We see the 71 in the grass. Looks like the 9's pulling away slowly. Well, there's your law of averages coming into effect.
This is a ton of machines right here.
It's the Dover big one. And it happened in front.
6 to 9, then nowhere to go into the corner for everybody else. The 12 gets clipped.
Yeah, the 22 was in there as well. I think it was the 22 and the 9 that started this.
And try to back it up a ways to see.
Oh, I saw it as we were backing up. The 54 looks like he got jacked up as well. Watch coming off the corner. You're going to see the 52 and the 6 get together right there.
Wow.
Ouch.
Nowhere to go for anybody else.
It looked like the 54 just either washed up or the 6 was that tight on his door that trying to come off the corner, contact was inevitable, and then next thing you know, you've got 9 or 10 cars involved here.
We're going to take our next break after that one, folks. Thanks for being here for us. We'll be back probably around the time we're getting back to racing.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, with Joshua Grosso getting another huge advantage here at Dover Downs International Speedway. Shane Lake and Jonathan Leach joining you guys for another great SRM production. And Grosso has checked out.
I would like to say what else is new, but you know, normally he doesn't have much of an opportunity to really get away from the field, and he's taken, you know, a 0.4 of a second gap over the competitor so far on the last lap or so, and Tristan Bailey doing whatever he can. Here's Tim Henderson, the 99. You mentioned his front clip being gone just a minute ago. Move him up to third.
Well, that's the advantage of having a fast repair in your pocket is if you knew you have a fast car and end up getting junked early, put that clip back on, and next thing you know, hey, you're battling for a top 5 position.
Yeah, the field's spreading out a little bit as there was a pass a moment ago towards right there. Angel Hernandez looked to the inside of Richie Maligani as Hernandez is working his drive back to the top 5. Slowly but surely. Field looks a little more tame.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if race control got on everybody and said, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I mean, these drivers want to do stuff on Saturday night as well, I'm sure. And, of course, right here you got Shane Posey again, still hanging on to that 22nd position. He just let Matthew Gary and Christian Delgado go by. Maybe he's looking back to the inside of the 71 here. You know, really good diamond through the corner right there. Is going to get the position back because the 71 is going to get loose.
And catches the inside wall, but we're going to keep it green for now.
You know, I'm going to call that a save.
I'm not 100% sure about that because I think with the impact on the left side, he might have bent the toe in a little bit more on that car.
You know, you're right. The toe is probably bent a little bit, but the car appears drivable. Ooh, yeah, no, maybe not. It's awfully loose right there. Let's go on board with him and see what he's dealing with.
Take a look at how much wheel he's got put into this car. Also, it looks like he's downshifting a little bit too. Yeah, right there, he just pancaked the wall a little bit. That car is beyond unhappy.
Oh yeah, he's got his hands full with this one. Grosso and Hernandez coming a little bit closer together, but stepping away from the third place driver, which is now Jackson Carr, who got around Henderson. Just behind them, we did have a bit of a side-by-side action, but Hernandez knocking on the door of his top 5.
I'm not surprised seeing that 45 car up there as the 24 bounces off the wall. Again, Miles is getting his pound of flesh in already, but that 45 is coming in a hurry.
It's starting to feel kind of good about this run right here. We're going to go 3 wide. Very nearly 3 wide as the 21, the 54 are going to look to the inside of the 8. The 8 trying to hold the 54 down. That's dangerous right there from Brett Schneider. You know, that 54 that car is just going to want to naturally drift back up, and he just didn't give him the opportunity to do that.
No, but it also looks like the 8 has a little bit of front end damage on that right front, so I don't think that car is 100% right now either.
Definitely looks like that front right splitter, if I can get a good angle at it, is awfully up right there. It's definitely upset and isn't going to flow around the corners as well as you want. This isn't Bristol. I mean, these guys are doing 160 miles an hour still. They need the aerodynamics to make this track work.
And especially with that damage, you have to wonder if there's anything damaged in the suspension on that right front as well, because I don't think that car is going to be 100% happy until he gets that repaired.
Now, and he might not have many more opportunities as we're still green right now as Tristan Bailey bounces off the wall just a little bit. Here's Courtney.
Don't jinx us.
On board with Courtney Nelson, you can see just how much banking these drivers are going through right here. Just in front of him is the 22 of Barkley. Might get to see a shot at a pass. Barkley thought about covering it. It's going to leave the door open. Nelson working to the inside. Side by side down the backstretch. The advantage I thought was for Nelson, but Barkley held on to it.
That 22 had to get the run off the high side because that was all momentum based right there, and he's going to do it again. Talking about the banking of this track, 24 degrees in the corner. As I said, don't jinx us. Look what happened.
99 again.
Finishing my thought, 24-degree banking in the corner, 16 on the straightaways, which means this track is 2 words, self-clean. And I think the 99 got help.
No, we're starting to see a lot of trouble with the 2 today. Kind of seems to be a part of everything. We're getting real close to each other right there. I can't really, we're not in the business of assessing blame, and I don't really think there's much to be given there. Just, I feel like it's uncalled for here.
A little, it was uncalled for sure, because it looked like the 99 was taking normal line while the 2 was trying to make the pass, and wow.
We'll back it up a little more from that angle.
If we get an in-car on that 99, I want to see the wheel input on that, because I don't know if he turned down. Let's just take a look riding along here with the 99 car. Nope. He was riding his normal line, and the 2 just hooked him. He was riding his normal line, and the 2 just flat out hooked him.
Trying to see.
You can see it right there. The 2 just moves up just that little, ever so much, and just flat out turned him.
Trying to get it from the vantage point of the 2 here. That's also got a lot of damage on the right front of his machine.
It looks like he might have had an unhappy race car, but he seems to come through these corners relatively well. And again, I'm just not liking how this came off. He's still inside of him, and kapow.
Yep, just comes up a little bit, spins the 99 around for, I don't know.
12th caution.
And 12th caution, but we've made it to halfway, an hour of 16 minutes of race time. We are now officially halfway, folks. A lot of drivers not on track anymore. Only 29 cars of the 35 car field remain. Rhea Ferris is one of those cars. She is currently scored last of the cars on track. The 20 Yahoo Camry of Michael Gervey, 28th Hopley, the Ford Mustang driver, 27th Iskandar, who we haven't heard much from out of Hesperia, California. A lot of starts here with iSNF, really damaged for him. And then now Tim Henderson is in 26, taking his just destroyed machine. It's a really nice paint scheme too. I assume, I hope that's for Tootsie Rolls and not something different.
No, that's for Tootsie's in Nashville.
Tootsie's in Nashville. All right, I don't know what that is.
It's a music bar.
Music. Got it. He's out of Syracuse, New York. Tony Trapasso is out of Syracuse, New York. He's no longer with us, but that is where he used to live. But back to the front, Hernandez has found himself in 4th.
Yeah, Tootsie's has been a long-time sponsor of the boys over at Trackhouse, and it's a musical bar down in the Nashville area.
Well, whenever I go down to Nashville, I guess I should go looking for it.
I think it's over by Blake Shelton's place. It's on the major strip of Nashville.
Let's see, taking a look. Oh, wow. Nashville would be a pretty cool place to live, I think.
Oh, you got the Super Speedway that's going to be hosting NASCAR and the IndyCar finale later this year. It's had WrestleMania there before, or I think it was SummerSlam, one of the two. It's probably going to end up with WrestleMania at some point. Great Music City, obviously, so it wouldn't be a bad idea.
All right, well, let's get back to racing here. Lap 102, 18 laps, really 17 laps for Grosso, Bailey, Hernandez, Jackson Carr, Matty Fornes. It looks like the crowd's all back to the front. It took them 102 laps, but they got 17 laps for stage 2.
As the flag man has his hand on the green flag, getting ready to drop it yet again. It looks like the 19's anticipating when the 23's going and still can't keep up with them, as those 2311 Toyotas on the top lane will fly right by.
Look at everybody, and wish you could say fanning out, but just all the checkups right here as the field is spread out by an entire stretch, front or back stretch, as we're following Brett Schneider, who's running 13th. Looked like there might be 3-wide racing there, but there is not.
No, they got it settled before they entered the corner, and thankfully it does look like this field is starting to stretch out a little bit, which means we might actually be able to get a little bit more action in. Definitely not anything new up front as we're looking at this battle between Malaguni, Robinson, and Posey hanging around here as well. Jackson Carr in front of this with Matty Fornes. Oh, that's not going to work up there. That's not going to work. Oh, the 2 with a huge save. I think he tried to cut the 3 car off, and I believe Jackson said, "No, sir, I'm keeping my nose in there."
Try to see it happen again right here from a better vantage point. But here comes that 3. Yeah, the 2's trying to hang on to position. The 3's there. 2 has to gather it up, loses a ton of positions, move him back to 9th.
He might have lost a lot of positions, but the big news is he didn't lose the car. So all he's got to do is get that right front damage fixed up, and he will be fine. As, hey, King Richard's making an appearance inside the top 10. Shane Posey up to 6th.
Yeah, 23 positions now on the race, running comparable lap times to those cars that are around him. So look at him move. Now he's making a move to the inside of that 54. Now he might have fresh tires while the other guys don't, and I'm okay with that. You get 3 sets. We talked about somebody needs to do something different than everybody else if they're all going to try to save a tire, and perhaps Posey is the guy who chose not to save, and he's letting fresh tires go to work for him.
Hey, I got nothing bad to say about this one, because it could take a weird strategy to end up winning this race, and we might end up seeing it unfold right now as he's chasing down someone else who's gone up 24 positions, Jackson Carr in that 3 car, who's been in a handful of incidents tonight and somehow has managed to rebound up inside the top 5.
And Carr looking to get around Tristan Bailey, who we heard in the wall a little bit, still kind of stuck in the wall. Not sure what happened to him. We'll try to go back and see if we can see anything occurring to him.
I think he's just fighting that car way too hard, because you see it coming off of turn 4, the thing was loose, and then all of a sudden it looked like it just got tight in turn 1.
Oh, that's weird.
For Dover, not really, because that's normal. He got loose coming off that corner and pancaked that car.
Yeah, you know, I guess it could have, to us, looked like, now he's got all sorts of problems.
Yeah, once a hit like that happens, look how much wheel he's got in that thing. He's bent the right front. That car is far from happy now. He's just holding on to the end of the stage at this point, because that right front tie rod is bent.
Take a look at who is coming to the front, though.
Old King Richard himself, Shane Posey in that 43 car. He's starting to track down those top 2 cars.
15 starts, 3 top 10s, no wins here for these guys. But he's got some speed. Can he get there to win stage number 2?
I don't know if he's going to be able to win stage 2, because we've only got 6 laps remaining, but he's going to definitely get himself a big old batch of points by the time this stage is over.
And he is quite a bit faster than Hernandez in front of him that last time by, 2.5 tenths.
It's a difference in entry point in these corners. Hernandez is trying to diamond the corner, while that 43 car is trying to wrap the bottom.
Yeah, that time they were a lot more even coming around the corner. So I think you're right. I don't think he's going to catch him. Matty Fornes has made his way back to 5th. Tristan Bailey just trying to hang on as everybody's going by.
Yeah, he bounced off the wall again coming off of turn 2. He's definitely got something bent in that Toyota.
Just hanging on for his opportunity to pit. And it's just, he's just in there thinking, I don't want to be the caution. He's going to bounce off the wall again as the 54. These guys are a little bit much right here, I feel like. You know, I know you're trying to get some stage points, but let's settle down for 3 wide. The 50, I just saw this coming.
How about we don't? Because it looks like he's trying to still pick up positions. He's going to end up losing one to the 9 car of Joey Maines.
And Joey Maines, you know, kind of went all the way up to his bumper. It seemed like he was saying, dude, I'm here, man. Get out of the way. But that was quite the aggression that we just saw out of Charles Robertson in that 54 machine.
Yeah, that's a little bit much, especially with 1 stage left to go. If it was maybe 5-6 laps from the finish, I could see that, but we're only 2 laps away from the end of the stage. Settle down.
And so as they run, Grasso, Hernandez, Shane Posey, Jackson Carr, Fornes, Barkley's made his appearance back to the top 6. Courtney Nelson. They just kind of tell you, these drivers, they find a way. Tristan Bailey hanging on to 8th for everything he's worth. Maligani, Charles Robertson, that's your top 10. And for popular points, Tim Henderson, who has been involved in everything tonight, is running 11th with a shot at Charles Robertson, looking to take away that last stage spot. Unable to do so. Is going to be just outside the top 10.
Yeah, but he's also got himself a little bit of a notebook on how to get back up towards the front, because we're going to see a lot of pit stops once these guys catch the pace car and come back around with about 77, 78 laps to go. We're going to end up seeing pit stops that could tell the tale of this race.
All right, so we're through stage 2. I would expect everybody to come down pit road right now. Maybe somebody like Tim Henderson, who pitted on lap 100, you stay out if you're the 11 car, or the number 99 car in 11th. Maybe you stay out, and he might be thinking about that.
Yeah, it looks like he is going to stay out.
I like this call.
Yeah, it means he's going to be able to take a set of tires a lot later, because as much as I hate to say it, I don't think we're done wrecking cars yet.
No, me neither. It looks like Gerby will stay out. Mettler's going to stay out. It's been a while since Mettler was down pit road, so I'm not sure what he's doing here.
Lap 75 was the last time Mettler came in, and I think on a 60% tank, you're running roughly 60-65 laps, depending on how you drive the car.
Take a look at this. Posey's going to be first off pit road. Fuel only, it looks like.
That is a very interesting strategy by the 43 car, because he's going to get gobbled up by these cars with fresher tires. But he might end up having a couple of tires left for late in the race in case there's cautions. But let's take a look at the fact we've got one car. Okay, there's a couple of them coming down pit road now that we're just hanging around waiting for pit road to clear off. That was the 71 of Matthew Gary and the 34 Matt Mentor. So I think they were just waiting for pit road to clear off.
Well, we're going to restart again. I'd like to try to say it's a new race once again. hour and a half running time so far. We're going to have about 75 laps to go, which I think is just outside of their fuel availability, like you were mentioning.
Yeah, I think with a 60% tank, they're doing 60, 65 laps. So if there's a caution with, I would say, anywhere from 25, 30 laps left and past that, we're going to see guys come down pit road and get tires and fuel to get to the end.
All right, so Henderson has no cushion. The other cars that did not pit came around and pitted. He's going to have John Hopley to his outside or inside, depending on how Henderson decides to restart here. And then he's going to have 3 cars that took, I think, fuel only. Maybe rights for Justin Barkley or lefts. And then you have Joshua Grosso back to 6th, who took tires. And everybody else down the line took tires.
Yeah, it looks like based off these pit stop times, I would say bare minimum for guys like Forens, Barkley, Posey, Jackson Carr sitting in 8th. It looks like they probably took 2 tires, while a lot of the other guys, Grosso, Hernandez, and everyone else, looks like they took 4.
We're going to get ready. These guys up front, Henderson, who's the 15, John Hopley. What does Shane Posey have for these guys? You know, he mentioned he might be able to get away with the top 5 when we talk to him.
Well, right now what he's got to worry about is the fact that the front row is sitting on much older tires than what he is. So he's going to have to watch out for the wheel spin, as I believe Barney's got the green flag waiting for everybody one more time.
And Tristan Bailey coming off pit road just in front of the field. 29 cars on the racing surface.
As that pace car's made the hard left-hand turn, let's see what Tim Henderson can do up front as a control car. We are back going in the 15. Looks like he got a better launch than the 99.
Well, I mean, maybe he just didn't work his tires so much, but here comes Henderson, going to get the jump out in front. Fornes in that 2, move him to 2nd. A lot of cars all over the place. Hopley kind of just stuck on the bottom. What happened to him?
He's trying to come down pit road. I believe he's coming down pit road.
He sure is.
Yeah.
I wonder if he had a penalty of some sort.
Maybe jumping the start. Out front, Joshua Grosso. Lack of surprise here, takes the lead.
And here comes Jackson Carr and the 4 fresh tires behind that number 99 of Henderson. They're coming to point, and the 2 just slams into the wall right there for Fornes. Just brutal hit. Cautions out. I don't know if it's for that. Maybe it's for these guys, Maligani and others.
That wouldn't surprise me. Here, the 41's trying to get back up, wiggling, and kapow. And gets the 17 with him.
And the 19. That's going to end the 19's night. So 31 was all over the 41's bumper. And it just looks like he never gathers it back up here.
Looks like he just got loose and just got behind the steering.
He did.
Which can happen here at Dover. Again, the problem is coming off these corners, the car gets really light. It's almost like you're jumping out of turns 2 and 4, and unfortunately it got a little too light for the 41, and into the fence he goes.
And if you're Tristan Bailey, this one bites.
Yeah, because this is more than likely going to be a race ender.
Yeah, looks like he's down on some power there. I would say for Bailey, he is done. A handful of drivers come down pit road again. Several of these guys. Here comes Posey. I guess he's choosing to take his tires now. No, fuel only. You guys coming down for fuel right now.
They're looking to get that insurance to try to go the rest of the way, but let's not forget there are three green-white checker finishes here in this division.
And we may not even get all the way to the end. So I don't know if I would have given up my track position to come put fuel in it right now.
No, my strategy, I would be splitting this stage in half and maybe going a little bit longer depending on caution laps. Because right now, honestly, if I was behind the wheel, I'd say I'd be coming in probably lap 170, 175, maybe 180 if stretching it, depending, like I said, with the yellow flag laps. And I'd definitely have a set of tires waiting for me.
Yeah, that's a pretty fair method of use right here. And I wish we had a way to count the tires remaining for these drivers, but that would be somewhat giving strategies away if we were able to do that. So we're gonna stack them back up, get ready to go too wide here. Grosso, Henderson. This could work out for Henderson. He's able to stay in the top 5 before he gets an opportunity to pit.
Yeah, because say we do get a long green flag run, he could cycle himself out inside the top 10 and actually come away with a better finish than where he originally was, which for most of this race, unfortunately, was backwards.
Right, looking at surprises. Matthew Gary up 19 positions for a driver that's 71 who's been in everything. Driver right behind him, Christian Delgado, has been in everything. And those cars are surprisingly well put together.
Yeah, these two have hit pretty much everything but the lottery in Delaware when it comes down to this race. But here they are.
I do like the 47 car. Looks like there's some Cheez-Its on the back of it.
Oh, the red Hungry Jack paint job. Reminds me I'm going to have to eat after this race.
Likewise. that is for sure. I mean, the Hungry Jack doesn't sound too bad right now. It's not for me, but... those aren't Cheez-Its. I was just pretending to be hungry.
Damn it, you made me hungry.
Well, we got 69 more laps to go here. If they do it under green, it won't be that long.
Oh, about a half an hour or so, give or take.
I don't think you're supposed to drive in the pace car there, man.
Oh, he's trying to give it the old Tony Stewart treatment, but unfortunately the pace car isn't a solid object in iRacing.
Gosh, do you know how many people would slam into it if it was? It would happen all the time.
At least it'd get rid of the riffraff.
Yeah. There is that. So we're going to rack them back up. Grosso, Henderson, Carr, Robertson, Barkley, Hernandez. That's your top 6. I think any of those 6 right there can win this race. And, and that has to go with as far as some of the people that are the ones to watch for this race that were provided by Rhea Ferris earlier. Hernandez, Joey Maines, Robertson. A couple others we just haven't really seen much of. And Justin Barkley is the dark horse pick to pull it off.
Yeah, Joey, as we go back to green, that 23 car once again takes off. I wonder if that little shot the 3 gave him kind of woke him up a little bit.
Yeah, maybe so, but it just seems to be pretty common that Grosso gets a much better restart than the rest of the field. And I just wonder why everybody's laying back. I just can't imagine. 3 wide right here, as I think that's the number 6 machine. Not the 6 machine, the 45 Hernandez was trying to make some gains in a hurry right there. Courtney Nelson, another one of those guys trying to get back to the front. Big loose right there, gathers it back up in front of the 24 of Wilson. Ball while Henderson falls to the back.
Yeah, Henderson is bleeding spots right now, and I don't think not coming onto pit road is going to work out for him. He's going to need to get some tires real soon.
Yeah, we're going to keep an eye on this one to see how far back he falls. If he could stay, in the top 13, and an opportunity comes out and everybody pits for any reason, he could be in good shape. But the downside is if everybody's out of tires and they stay out near the tail end with new tires, that's a little bit far to come through with 20, 30 laps to go.
Yeah, and unfortunately with everyone on old tires, that just means you got a lot more of a landmine to get through. than what you're hoping for. As it looks like he's trying to stay on the bottom and just let the faster cars go.
Not really anything better to do here. I feel like he can make himself a little bit bigger of a roadblock and try to hang on to position a little better, but he's just being very courteous. Maybe he didn't think that the speed difference would be this great.
No, obviously he's probably down about 6-7 miles an hour over everybody else. But the biggest thing that he's lacking is that maneuverability in the corners, and it is evident right now.
In fact, all the cars behind him, from Matthew Gary all the way to back here to Larry Fairman, those 6 cars, I think, are all going to be able to get by him. And, you know, that's going to put him back to 19th unless he can find some speed here, or if the tires start to equalize a little bit. And, I mean, it's been about 20 laps, so, I mean, he doesn't have to hang on too much longer, and the drivers around him, they'll start having some wear, and their times will slow down, make it a little bit easier. But like you said, the maneuverability of the car is certainly going away for the 99.
Yeah, I'm looking at the speeds right now in the corners. He is struggling to keep up speed-wise. He's only doing about 152, 153 miles an hour in the corner. Everyone else is in the 160 range, so he is definitely losing out speed-wise right now.
Talking about speed-wise, a driver with not lacking speed is Joshua Grosso. He's starting to stretch away. He's got 1 win. He's out of Red Wing, Minnesota. 42 starts. He's 0.7 of a second in front of Jackson Carr, who might have the most wins in the field. 38 starts, 9 wins, 27 top 10s. So, you know, 19 times, 18 times that he didn't win, he was in the top 10. That's pretty impressive for the driver of the 3.
Again, goes back to the word I was talking about earlier in this broadcast, consistency. And right now, that 3 car has managed to find a way through all the adversity. Speaking of adversity...
Oh, the 2.
I had to open my mouth about things, didn't I?
It looks like the 2, once again, might be involved in something. I'm hearing the 2. Oh, 38 and the 2, nowhere to go. Whoa, what happened to the 38?
Well, that's a little bit awkward.
Oh, tries to squeeze down right there in front of the 47. The 47 says you can't be there. The 38's all out of whack. Oh.
And ouch.
2 machines just destroyed. 3, really, between the 2, the 38, and the 15 right there.
And something tells me there's going to be a couple of days finished by this, and it looks like one of them could be the 38.
Yeah, I think still showing that the 2 on pit road in their box for 1 minute and 10 seconds, they might be done. Hopley, however, still turning laps out there. I'd honestly make as many laps as you could real fast. Get in front of the other 2 guys that just had trouble. Van Matstrit might have himself a brand new car.
If that's the case and he saved his fast repair for now, that's actually genius.
I didn't hit any buttons.
Ooh. How did we get you up here? Well, we got the 47 up here now. Bob Wyckoff, welcome to the booth. I'm not sure how you ended up in the booth, but you're having a rough race now. Mind to tell us what happened?
I think it's just aggression going on. I think it's just end of the race stuff. So Chris kind of came down on me. I kind of had an opening, and I tried to take it.
That's kind of what it looked like to us up here in the booth, and well, and then around goes the 38 from there. Still not really sure how you ended up in the booth, but you're going down pit road right here, so we're going to send you back to your team. Good luck on the rest of your race, and I hope things go better from here on out.
Thank you.
So I'm having a hard time finding his team. So he's just kind of on his own.
Well, that was definitely unexpected.
Yeah, I don't know how he ended up in the booth.
I have no idea.
Yeah, and it says he's part of JTG. Okay, they got him back in there. Perhaps race control moved him by accident.
Oh, that wouldn't surprise me any.
Yeah, no big deal. We were able to ad-lib and go with it. And during that time, the pace laps kind of ticked away, and we're getting ready to go back to racing here. I wish we were under the lights, but we're not. We're at Dover, under the clouds. Grosso, Robertson, Barkley, and look at who is here now. Jason Ricketts in that number 48 machine out of Dawsonville, Georgia. Look at that. Restarting fourth, going to hang on to fourth in turn one.
You know, I actually saw an interesting question on Twitter earlier about why Dover doesn't have lights. The easiest answer is the Air Force Base close to the racetrack. That's why we don't have night racing there.
You know, that, as an air traffic controller, I'm not really sure why that would stop there from being the lights. I guess, you know, unless final, where the planes are flying over, would fly right over the racetrack. In that case, I can see that being a bit of an issue with all the lights there for that point. But you do see a ton of lights in the infield, just not for the racing surface.
No, it looks like the horse track is actually lit up on the infield. The only reason for this discussion is the fact that everyone in the top three is basically checked out.
Yeah, straight up. I mean, that's all it says. It's because of the Air Force Base in Dover is the reason there are no lights. And then for New Hampshire, the local government does not allow New Hampshire to have lights.
Yeah, I think it's more of a sound thing than anything else, you know, decibels, because Loudoun isn't exactly one of those big cities. So I think what makes sense about that as, the 8 car just pounded the wall.
Oh, gather it up, man. Don't go right back onto the racing surface like that.
There's a caution waiting to happen.
And my driver just came out right here. I don't
understand this.
That one I didn't feel like was necessary. I felt like, yes, some stuff happened. I've gotten to apologize. You know, like I just said, my driver mentality came out right here. So we're gonna see he's gonna follow the 8, who's kind of stuck here. It slows up. The 14 clips him down here on the track, and just kind of like, you know, maybe he thought a caution came out. I can live with that thought. If he thought the caution came out, it didn't. But I can tell you that he is not everybody's friend right now. So here's the onboard with the 8 after this happens.
He gets jacked up by the 17, and you can see he's turned that wheel hard left, but he's got a broken tie rod and gets jacked by the 71, and then I think the 16 hits him again, knocking him around.
Fair enough. Tells you what we can tell from the booth, or what I can tell. So there's nothing he could do. He was chasing up the racetrack, out of control, unable to change the trajectory. We made it to lap 151. We're starting to see drivers pit. Grosso did pit. So is he taking his last set of tires? It appears that he is. Same with Justin Barkley. Those drivers, this is probably their last set.
Well, they're doing it smart because it's going to give them about 47, 48 laps possibly of green flag action on those tires, while everyone else is still struggling on their set from lap 120, 121 when they last came down pit road.
And so it's going to move Charles Robertson to the front. He's got 9 wins, 110 starts out of Knightsville, South Carolina. He's 27 years old, 49 top 10s. So nearly a top 10 in half of the races that this driver runs with iSNF. That's a pretty impressive rating. You can also see that driver rating in the top right corner. That's something that RIA does based off of a RIA algorithm to determine your skill level in the field. You can see right behind him, Jackson Carr has got the 100. Steven Sear is a 70. Angel Hernandez, I think, is the top right now at 103.
Doesn't surprise me what he's been able to do today, that he has that high of a rating, because that 45 car has not been in the back all that long.
All right. And then, of course, Joey Maines right behind them. Kego Harbor, Michigan. I don't think that's so far away from me. I think that's on the west side of the state, and I'm on the northeast side of the state. I'll show you the points once again, coming into this one real fast. Points coming in, Angel Hernandez with a giant gap over Tristan Bailey. Bailey is out of the race. Christian Delgado is in third. He has had a less than good race. He's also out. Charles Butcher, I don't even see that driver in the race unless it's Charles Roberson, but I don't believe that it is. There's nobody that's going to make up any ground on Hernandez. He's going to stretch out his lead on those guys that are remotely close to him in the top 5 in standings.
And that's why he's going to be able to pull away. Is we've got 2 of the top 3 in points currently out of this race, and with the way the bonus points are set up, he's just going to keep hauling away.
He's got to get through the field. Excuse me, I was thinking of Grosso, my mistake. Joshua Grosso is going to have to get through the field to get back to the front. He's starting 13th with 50 laps to go. Might be a little bit tough, and you're in the hornet's nest back here trying to get back to the front. Robertson and Carr probably feel pretty good right here where they are, and I wonder if with enough cautions can they save enough to the end.
Well, I would still be having that green-white checker thing in my head, because that's an additional 10, 12 laps at the most. That would be a concern of mine. So I don't know if I'd try to push it to fuel save that much yet. But as the pace car comes down the track, we are back green, and that 54 is G-O-N-E gone.
And it just seems like if you start on that bottom line, you can just shoot out to a good lead. So you want to be the control car. As Carr and Hernandez are going to trade back and forth for second. Hernandez looking to the inside into turn number 3. Carr going to do his best to not give Hernandez anywhere to drive off, which is all you can do. He's going to starve off the momentum. Carr's going to hang on to it. Opens the door for Steven Sear into turn 1.
Yeah, what that 3 car did was effectively side drafted the 5 through the middle and exit that corner. And then as he exited, he pulled away from him. That way, giving the 45 no chance to try to get back to attack yet again. And now that door is open for those 2 Hendrick cars, the 5 and the 9, to try to make a big move on that 45 car.
Yeah, now they're side by side into the corner. The 9 taking advantage of the slowness of the 5. Caution out. 16 cautions.
We were supposed to have 16 lead changes, not 16 cautions.
I'm not sure where this one is. I think it might have to do with Matt Mettler. That's in front of him. Looks like there's smoke in front of Mettler. 24, then he slows down and everybody drives right through him.
Yeah, the 43 got him in the checkup.
So whatever caused the caution
happened with Isaac Wilson in the 24. And he got help. It's that 11 car.
Holy cow. He just drove right through him.
And then as he corrected up the fence, kapow. And that's probably that 24 car's day done.
I would say so. So that's Shane Griffin in the 11 kind of driving through him right there. coming down pit road now. I would be 2 after that contact. So this is going to move Grosso a little closer to the front. He's been pretty much the car of the field all day long in that Air Force 23 machine. But Charles Robertson's on the point. Did not opt to come down and pit. And, you know, it might almost be worth trying to hang on to your track position.
You might be of that thinking of, well, if we get another couple of cautions, again, lap 170, 175, come in and get the last set of tires, you could have the advantage overall when it comes down to the end of this race. Taking a look through some of the field, Jackson Carr up 26 positions, sitting in P2. He's got to be feeling pretty good in that 3 car right about now, thinking, hey, you know, we may end up walking out of here with an unexpected top 5 or even top 10. And it looks like we'll be getting the restart with under 40 laps to go. So there could still be a little bit of strategy played out to end this race. I believe we're going to be doubling everybody up this time by. Robinson, Carr, Hernandez, Means, and Smith, the top 5, with Nelson, Grosso, Barkley, Adrian San Jose, Arenas, and Ria Ferris inside the top 10. This has been a jumbled up race. And again, Joshua Grosso still got a little ways to go before he's going to be able to crack that lead. He has had the dominant car this race. Dominance can only get you so far, especially this late in the this late in the running.
All right, so 40 laps to go. Sorry, I was breathing, thinking about something else for a moment. I apologize for that.
I got you covered. Don't worry about it. You got Robinson and Carr leading that front row. Hernandez and Maines in row 2. Both of those guys were 2 of the top 5 to watch out for this race, along with that 54. They've all come to the front, so there's got to be a reason they were on that watch list. As the pace car looks like he's getting ready to make that left-hand turn coming up. The control car has always shot off the bottom like a bullet, so it'll be interesting to see if Jackson will be able to actually hang with him this time, or if that 54 will have a huge gap yet again coming off of turn 2 as the pace car has taken that left-hand turn. Barney, your arm has got to be getting exhausted, my friend. Wave that green for me one more time. And oh, here we go. And that's number 17.
We're not going to talk about that. We kind of saw how it happened. Just, you know, spins the tires right into the car on the outside.
It looked a lot like what happened at the start of this race.
The 9 sure took a ton of damage from that, though.
He's got a significant amount because he got turned around a couple different times by the 21, and I think I can't tell who else that was that hit him, but he's elected to take the tow. Well, it was supposed to be a good points day for the 45 car. That's gone out the window. And also took the 9 with it because that 9 car hit that wall hard. So much for thinking there was going to be a long green flag run to end this race.
Well, we know Hernandez has been pretty clean for a large portion of this race, so I expect him to be able to have a faster pair and be okay.
Yeah, but that tow takes a couple of minutes, and by that point, he might have lost a couple of laps by the time he gets down pit road.
That's also true. So, I mean, this could be an opening for some drivers to make up a little bit on that ridiculous gap that he has on the field.
Yeah, easily. I could see this becoming a huge points day for everybody else. I mean, he's going to gain points anyway at this rate, but it's not going to be as massive as if he didn't spin those tires on that restart.
You know, he might actually be out. Perhaps I missed something. He is not on the racing surface whatsoever at all.
Yeah, I'm looking at scoring right now, and nothing's moving. I think you're right. I think he actually is out. And if that's the case, this race just became wide open. Because there's only 20 cars on the lead lap. Granted, the wick is about to get turned up, but I think we've also had enough excitement because now look who's sitting in third. Grosso in the 23. He's going to be right on the bumper of that Toyota in front of him of Charles Robertson. I have got a feeling that it won't take long for that 23 car to find the lead and check out from the field.
You know, with 30... I mean, this might be kind of falling into Charles Robertson's strategy here, but I think his bed's made. He can't really do anything. He's just going to have to sit out here unless he ends up needing fuel, of course.
Last time he was on pit road was 121 when everyone else was in the ballpark of 142 to 150. He's got about 30 less laps than everybody else. It's going to be tight on fuel for that 54 car. As the field has doubled up, we're going to be getting the green with 35 laps to go. It's going to be Charles Robertson and Jackson Carr, your front row. Joshua Grosso, Courtney Nelson, row 2. Rhea Ferris and Adrian San Jose Arenas in the 14, row 3. Larry Fairman, Mike Escar, row 4. Row 5, Matthew Gary and Jason Ricketts. So we have got ourselves a bit of a jumbled top 10.
It's quite a different field now. It looks like we're going to have 19 drivers on the racing surface when we go back to green here.
And that green flag is this time by Barney. I'll get you some goodies powder when this race is over, buddy. Wave it for me again. Thank you very much.
No, sorry, I was going to say, this time not the same kind of restart. Jackson Carr was ready on the outside and really kind of stays with him. Robertson kind of rotates around the corner well, but touches that wall. I think Carr is going to be shooting for the lead any second now.
You and I had the same thought because I was about to say the 54 did not get off that time. He just bounced off the wall again. So that's going to really open the door for that 3 car. But both of them are going to have to start looking in their mirror because those teeth on that 23 car are looking very, very sharp.
And look at these 3 go right here for this lead position between the 54, 3, and the 23.
Yeah, but I don't think the 54 is going to be able to put up much of a fight. The older tires and a lot less fuel, I hate to say it, but he's not going to be able to do much more, especially the way he's been bouncing off the walls the last couple of laps.
No, not at all. But, you know, I mean, if there was to be a caution now, God forbid, and he's got a set left, you know, at this point, it's plausible that you might be able to get up, say, 10 or so spots on 20, 30 lap pressure tires. But I think his bed's made, and I think third is just going to be kind of sort of where he's going to cycle in through. Here's Bob Wyckoff back in that 47 machine. We heard from him earlier in a weird fashion, somewhat accidentally, but we did hear from him. Shane Posey just kind of knocking on the door of the top 10, and the caution's out again.
18th time today we have had that yellow flag fly, and I wonder what this was for.
Saw 31 on my relative.
Yeah, I think that's got something to do with it. Let's take a look.
Huh. You know, the 47's been involved in starting.
He's been involved in way too much.
Yeah, starting or finishing a lot of these.
And that could have been avoided with a 31 car, honestly. I get it's late race, but still, that really, really could have been avoided.
Yeah, we're going to take a break for this one. We need to gather ourselves up, get ready for the shootout to finish this one here at Dover.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back and we are getting ready to re-rack this race. 175 we're going to be in the book when we hit the start-finish line. Shane Lake and Jonathan Leach here calling the rest of this race for you. 25-lap shootout. What are we thinking?
I'm thinking we're not going to get there, but I hope we do.
You know what I'm
gosh.
thinking? I'm going to have to get Barney some headache powder when this is done.
You know what? And Robertson did pit, and I'm hoping he took tires, and we're going to see a mad dash to the front.
Well, let's see how this mad dash turns out, because the green is waving again, and Grosso has checked out from everybody. Oh, I stand corrected. Jackson Carr took off.
Well, something has to change at any given point of the race. Everybody that's on the racetrack still, just a sea of green as far as increased positions. Carr's up 27 spots. Shane Posey's up 24. Matthew Gary is up 28. Everybody's just up a tremendous amount of positions because everybody else is just not here anymore. That being said,
look at the fact of Matt Metler up 23 positions. Wyckoff up 25 positions.
yeah, Matt Metler is driving with three-quarters of a car, and he's in ninth. He's about to be driving with half a car, but he somehow stayed out of that wall. But like just this racetrack turned into a war of attrition as Metler bounces off right there. I know that car is having turning issues, and he's trying so hard to stay in this top 10. Charles Robertson's moving quick.
Those fresh tires, he's got to be on his last set of stickers because he's dicing his way through the field.
And he's only 3 seconds behind the leader, but he's got to get through this mess of machines right here and hope to not get caught up in it. Something's going to happen from these guys. There's a bump from Metler there. The 47 right here, the 71. Roberson gets through.
We're watching the hornet's nest because that 71's about to destroy himself or somebody else. Because we had to say something, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, look at that. The 47 didn't cause it.
Or the 71. It is definitely behind these guys. It's hard to see who it is.
I think it's in front. There it is. Rhea Ferris in the 5. Ooh, golly. Oh, man. Justin Barkley oh, man.
He had a windshield full of that Ford. Well, so much for that idea. Now, we're going to get a restart with about 16 to go. Can Jackson Carr hold off that 23?
There's a 20 to go. Roberson has moved up to 8th. He's going to be 4 lanes back on arguably the freshest equipment. Definitely the freshest equipment. 4 lanes back of the lead. Grosso's been the class of the field for the longest time. It looks like we're going to have roughly 22 cars, 23 cars perhaps on the racing surface when we go back to racing. We'll be under 20 laps to go. And I think we're going to be able to finally get to the end of this one.
I've got my fingers crossed for this because this has been one of the wackiest races I've seen, let alone commented on. So we'll just have to wait and see how this turns out. I mean, we sure we don't have a full moon out somewhere tonight?
I wouldn't be surprised if there was one in the simulation. Look at the weather here on the racetrack. It's starting to get a little sunny out there. It was overcast the entire time. And, you know, the track temperature hasn't gone up. The temperature outside has gone down. But it's starting to be a little bit of sun for these drivers, and look who's found his way back into the top 5 once again.
Shane Posey in that Richard Petty-inspired 43 car. But yeah, dealing with the track, it's like Bristol, Nashville, all the concrete tracks. It holds temperature quite well. So if it stayed cool throughout this race, you know, there's still going to be a whole lot of grip to be found. It's just a matter of finding it.
Yeah, so the top 5 as we get ready to restart. Carr, Grosso, Jason Ricketts, Shane Posey, row 2. Tim Henderson, Iskander, row 3. And we're keeping our eye on the row 4, which has Larry Fairman and Charles Robertson. I'm really keeping an eye on that 54.
He's going to have the preferred line, if you ask me, on fresh tires, and that's going to be the outside, because as everyone fights for the bottom, he's going to be able to motor around them on the outside.
That's exactly what I was thinking. If I was the crew chief, I'd be saying, hang on, just look for these guys to try to really turn it down low, and you'll have speed on the middle to high lane. You just don't want to get caught up in them coming back up the racing surface. But 19 laps isn't very long. So if we stay green, he's going to have to dice through these guys quickly, or Carr and Grosso will be gone and away.
Yeah, looks like they going to be going green this time by. I guess they stacked them up a lap early. Looking through the tires, yeah, it looks like Robertson's on the freshest, coming in lap 171. But you also got the 43 car, Shane Posey, lap 162, and Henderson lap 163, where everyone else was within the 140, 150 range.
All right. I'm ready to see how this one's going to go down. I like the storyline of Robertson trying to chase down the top 2 to get the win on fresher tires. This is the strategy that I was talking about at the top of the show, you know. At the very beginning of it is somebody saving some tires for the end, gets a timely caution, drives through the field for the win. That's what sounds exciting to me.
And we're about to have the excitement as Jackson Carr takes off again on this green flag. Joshua Grosso is coming his way up right behind him. And Robertson is already starting to get his way through the field.
And Robertson didn't have to avoid anything chaotic right there. He's going to make up a couple positions. The 5 is going backwards. Robertson's going to clear another car, moving him up to 6. He's got Tim Henderson, that 99 machine. I don't know how it's on the racing surface right there in front of him. Robertson looks for the crossover. Henderson blocking very, very hard for that 5th place position.
It doesn't surprise me as hard as he's battled that he's blocking, but all that's going to do is slow that 54 down. And with as fresh a tires that 54 has, you might get a little bit aggressive and start using the fiberglass horn, so to speak.
Yeah, he's there now. Yeah, you know what? Right there, the 99 tried to get in the way, and he just said, man, I'm here. Get out of my way. And I don't think the 99 can even chase him back down to do any kind of payback. A little further in the field, Fairman's working on the 9. Gaggle of machines. Here's Courtney Nelson trying to make up positions. There's the 47 to the inside of the Matt Metler machine. Nelson trying to follow the 47. 47 gets tight. Comes up the track. The 24 is going to look down underneath it.
Well, it's not surprising it's getting this dicey late, but here comes that 54 getting ready to pounce on Jason Ricketts in the 48 car. 13 laps to go, though. I don't know if he's got enough time to get up to the front.
There's only a second gap. If he can get around these guys quickly, there's a shot. But he's going to have to be able to get around Jason Ricketts quickly.
What's going to help him is if Jackson Carr in the 3 and Joshua Grosso in the 23 get the battling for the lead. Or if even Shane Posey gets up there and sticks his nose in the business, trying to get up to the lead as well. If all 3 of them start battling, that 54 car is going to have a better shot as he's trying to clear the 48 going into turn 3.
And it looks like he is going to get moved to 4th. It's worth mentioning Posey's got fresher tires than Grosso in front of him. Grosso, who's been the guy all night long, is starting to show some weaknesses. Here comes Shane Posey with 11 to go. The driver who's been up in the top 5 as far back as 28th in this race, looking to take that position there. The lapped car going to get in the way and sort of spoil that for him.
Yeah, I think that one car is the reason we had smoke in the middle of 1 and 2. I think he bounced off the wall and
holy
has
cow.
a huge block. Wow. This is getting very hairy very quick.
And Posey trying to regroup. You know, that one car might have just saved the day here. But all bets are off if Grosso gets to the 3 and they start racing. I think Posey and Robertson are going to be right there. Mellor's,
for sure.
Mellor hanging on to 13th. Van Matstrit looking to get 11th. Courtney Nelson hanging on to 9th. Side-by-side action in front of them.
Yeah, Tim Henderson, I don't know how that car is on the track right now. I really don't. But maybe that 54 has used his stuff up too early because he's fallen back into the grasp of the 48 car by Jason Ricketts.
Yeah, he just ran a slower lap time than the 3 in front of him. Probably got the tires a bit hot here. Needs to regroup, then try it again. And it's worth noting that Grasso is almost there for this group. Posey probably got his tires hot trying to chase them down as well. What does, and then of course Jason Ricketts wanting his position back. Almost mistaked him for the Tim Henderson machine with 99. Who's in 6th. Valvaria Ferris down low, letting these leaders go through.
Right now, if I was the 3 car, I'd be doing exactly what he's doing. Just try to find the right groove to run in, try to save my tires a little bit while keeping everybody behind me, keeping the strongest car in my rearview mirror, and then save just enough if there's a charge late in these last 5 laps to try to hold off the advantages. So right now, Jackson's doing everything he can to keep this lead, and I don't blame him.
And I think you're right. The Roberson is stalled out where he's running. He's up 2 positions from a starting position. Jackson Carr, again, up 27 spots. He's only got 5 more times around this place. Going to make it 4 coming around, hitting the start-finish line right here. So only a handful of corners left for the guy in Des Moines, Iowa. And if he's there right now, there's quite a bit of weather taking place there. And be rather... And, you know, so look good on him. There's some tornadic weather, and here he is trying to win a race with tornadoes outside.
Well, we could definitely call this a twisted win for him if he ends up picking up a checkered flag in the next 3 laps, that's for sure. Yes, yeah. I just went there.
Well, that makes me excited for the new twister that's going to come out at some point. I wonder if it'll be as good as the old one. A couple of the OGs, though, will not be in it due to old age. Anyhow, back to the race. 2 to go. Getting ready to come to the white flag for Jackson Carr. The tires have fallen off for Robertson. He's going to have to settle for 4th and hope he can hold off the 99, which he put the bumper to, so I imagine the 99 is willing to do the same thing back to him to get 4th.
It wouldn't surprise me any if that's the case, but here we got the white flag waving.
Robertson might be able to sneak into that 3rd place position. Going to bump the 43 right out of the way. The 99 is going to just pass on through as well. And that's probably going to keep Robertson in that 3rd place position. As we're coming around for Jackson Carr. Crosses the start-finish line. This race is finally over. Robertson's right there. Henderson almost gets around him, but just not quite. Seems like maybe they're still a bit frustrated with each other.
I think everyone's a little bit frustrated after this race, the way that broke down.
Yeah, this was a tough race. It was. There's a lot of cautions. No one could get into the groove no matter what you wanted to do. But now it's done. Jackson Carr, 17, make this his 10th win to match his 10 DNFs and 38 starts. So this guy either wins, has a top 10, or he just doesn't finish the race. So, I mean, excellent drive for him. Beats Grosso, who's the class of the field.
What was it that used to be on Ralph Earnhardt's car? Win, wreck, or blow? That seems to be the case for the 3 car. And today he was able to tame old Miles the Monster and pick up the win.
Yeah, look at that. The only one thing to do is time to get in touch with our today's winner, Jackson Carr. Look for him. Still moving his machine around here.
Yeah, he's still burning it down while he's got the chance. These next-gen cars are really hard to throw burnouts down with.
Sure seems to be the case. Well, it's much harder when you blow up the machine.
How do you do 2 of the things in one night? You win, then you blow. What is that about?
Yeah, that was pretty impressive, I might add, right there.
Yeah, go figure. That sums this race up in a nutshell.
And well, now Shane Jackson Carr, tonight's race winner, standing by with you in the booth.
Hey, Jackson, it's Shane up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I hear you.
First off, congratulations on the win. Shame that you're going to have to replace that motor later. You came up 27 positions on the field. How did you do it?
Just I don't even know. We put some armor on the thing. We just ran our lines. We got involved in a wreck earlier. That was so long ago. We just got to, I don't know how I got to the field. We ended up at front at the end when it mattered. That's all I know.
Yeah, you had that pit stop late that gave you the tires to hang on. Did you think anyone had anything for you towards the end of this? Joshua Grosso looked like the class of the field, and you were able to hold him off.
I knew he wasn't going to be able to do anything. It's just you can't, with dirty air, as soon as I moved up, this momentum completely got stalled there. So the only thing I was worried about was the 43, 54 that were on new tires, but they both kind of stalled out there, about 10 to go. So I knew 8, 9 to go, as long as I didn't make any mistakes. It's a free win.
Is there anybody you want to thank before we get you out of here so you can take cover away from that tornado activity you got in your area?
Yeah, I got big tornadoes over here. I was supposed to race tonight, and well, last night too, and all the races got canceled. So that's why I'm not in my normal car, because I wasn't planning on racing today. But obviously my dad for all the moto stuff that I worked on here. I really like the racing boots. I just started racing boots, and it helped. Obviously, everybody at the colleague, not racing colleague today, and RCR. Too bad Christian, I think he got destroyed. So I think Mark also got destroyed. But the 31 of Courtney ended up lasting through this gulag. Burnt rubber racing, the 5th line.
All right, man. Well, congratulations, and get somewhere safe, huh?
Yep, and reception sound. A little bit.
All right, man. Congratulations. Enjoy this one.
Bringing Joshua Grosso up to the booth now. Runner-up in tonight's race after being the class of the field. Joshua, I mean, you got a win here, 42 starts, 20 top 10s. And series champ at one point in the class of the field tonight. What changed as this race went on for you?
I mean, I think it was the strategy call. I pitted 10 laps after Jackson, so I kind of got caught up after traffic, and it burned up my tires a little bit trying to get up to him. It didn't help that we kept getting constant cautions, so I couldn't keep passing cars to try to get up to him, but yeah.
It's kind of one of those racing deals. 18 cautions tonight, I believe, on this one, which is a lot. It's more than I expected to see here at Dover. Did the track ever really change on you guys? And do you think the cautions really kind of threw a bunch of people off their rhythm? Because I mean, Dover is a sort of a rhythm track, and it does wear on you as a driver.
Yeah, I'm sure it didn't help. I noticed. I think we got like a 20 or 30 lap run once, and it was definitely better to get into a rhythm. And it definitely, as it got later, it definitely started gripping up a bit at the end.
All right. Well, good job on your podium finish here. Is there anyone you would like to mention before we let you go?
My whole team. Charles, he got P3. That's awesome. I know Michael and Angel didn't get the finishes they wanted, which sucks. They got taken out, but overall, not a bad day for Toyota.
All right. Well, thanks for chatting with us. Good luck to you. We'll hopefully be talking to you again next week. And enjoy your night.
Thank you.
All right, Shane, and now with us, driver number 54, Charles Roberson, really pushing it, trying to get there, just sort of runs out of time. Is standing by with you.
Hey, Charles, it's Shane in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, man.
My friend, you were putting on a show those last 20 laps. What happened at the end?
I mean, I wouldn't say I ran out of time. I just kind of wore my stuff out. These new cars, I'm still trying to figure them out, but you know, it was a decent race.
Yeah, it looked like towards the end it just tightened up a little bit on you. Seemed like everyone was really fighting a tight condition all day today, except coming off the corners. How were you able to keep that car underneath you as well as you were able to throughout this entire race?
Well, I really couldn't keep it in fifth gear. It was kind of tight on me, so I was downshifting for most of the run. I think maybe that was kind of what wore my tires out, but I was able to keep a decent pace and get a third place.
Yeah, like I said, you put on a whale of a show towards the end of this. Is there anyone you want to thank before we let you get out here and enjoy the rest of your night?
Yeah, Rhea, she always does a good job in running her league pretty much since she created it. And, my teammates, everybody at 23x11. So it was a decent run tonight.
All right, man. Well, you got yourself a P3 finish. Enjoy this one, and we'll talk with you again another point.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Well, after a 2-hour and 20-minute race, we finally determine our victor, being Jackson Carr, and we hear it from Grosso and Robertson. They just both kind of went through their tires towards the end of the run, and a little bit of strategy came into this race, depending on pitting a little early or pitting late and getting stuck behind the field. Without further ado, we'll put the race results up on screen. We've already talked to our top three notable finishes. And it's Shane Posey ended up finishing 14th with 2 laps to go.
Yeah, those tires in that 43 car were just gone at the end of it. I guarantee you he used everything up trying to track the lead down, and unfortunately, it just didn't work out for him at the end of it.
Oh, it looks like maybe he might have spun somebody at the end there.
Oh, a little late race shenanigans.
Going back to look right there.
Yeah, he hooked somebody. The 43 got, I think it was the 14.
I see what happened right there, and that didn't help matters for him tracking our. Excuse me, I've been talking a lot. It did not help matters for him falling through the field for Shane Posey. Other notable rough finishes tonight, further down the list. Franz Brettschneider finishes 19th. Mettler ends up finishing 28th after having a valiant effort in this one. And then to make things even worse, for other drivers, Christian Delgado doesn't pick up any points on his competition of Angel Hernandez, and Hernandez brings it home. I'm showing 25th. Excuse me, our I'm running the wrong results here, so I'm talking
Yeah,
the wrong thing.
you've
But
got it right. Angel Hernandez was 25th. Yeah, it was just a rough race for Angel after being able to have as much speed as he did to be taken out in the way that he was. Yeah, that's tough.
yeah, so rough race, but we're gonna try to clean it. They'll try to clean it up. They'll be right back here on SRM, possibly next week. If not, we will go from there. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for making SRM and the iSNF series a part of your Saturday evening. We hope you have a great rest of the day. And Shane, I'll let you close it out.
As I have said many a times and many other places that I have been a part of, until we meet again, everybody, please do take care.